The Credit Ombudsman says it's inundated with complaints from consumers regarding credit bureau-related issues. Some consumers who have settled their debt are experiencing a delay when trying to update their default information on the credit bureau. This is having a negative impact on their ability to be granted credit and secure a better credit score. Let's take a look.
The Credit Ombudsman Office was created to resolve disputes of disgruntled consumers in the credit industry. So far, the Ombudsman has received complaints ranging from payment allocations, fraud, and the closing of accounts relating to the credit bureaus. Consumers can lodge a complaint with the Ombudsman if they are not getting any joy from various credit bureaus within 20 working days.
The act is clear that you have to approach the credit bureau first. So what the process that the office has adopted and the process that we have adopted with our members is that a consumer, an example, if I'm a customer and I go and draw a credit report or apply for finance, and immediately I find that I'm rejected finance, or I find that an account is not listed correctly, immediately you have to contact the relevant credit bureau from which you drew your report or from which you received the communication of the adverse listing. Contact them immediately, log the complaint with them. With the pandemic and with so many things going online and being electronic at the moment, all of the credit bureaus now, you can log the complaint online. The consumer must ensure that they get a reference number.
There are about 25 million credit active individuals listed with different credit bureaus. Credit bureaus keep information of consumers' credit history and how they conduct themselves when acquiring credit. Consumers are entitled to a free credit report once a year to view their credit report. An adverse listing or default usually stays on your profile for a year, but it can be removed once your outstanding debt has been settled. A court judgment stays for about 5 years, but it can also be removed once the debt is settled.
A credit bureau reports only what, or stores and reports back only what a lender, a credit lender or a credit provider in the country provides on that particular consumer. And this is typically, an account that you've opened up with them, how you're transacting on that account. So your credit report will have a 24-month rolling history, whatever your account is, whether it's a store account, a home loan, a vehicle finance, loan, all of these different types of accounts is on your profile. And how you conduct yourself in terms of payment against those accounts would also be stored. And on a monthly basis, all of these lenders would provide that data back to a bureau. So it's actually just a reflection of the accounts that you have and how you pay them. That's what a bureau does. The term blacklisting is actually a very old term. It's a big misconception in the industry. Bureaus actually don't create listings. We don't change or alter the data as provided to us by lenders.
The National Credit Act compels the credit bureaus to update consumers' information on their system. If a default or judgment is granted against a consumer, this is likely to have a negative impact on their credit profile and credit score. Different credit bureaus determine their own credit score, and this could disadvantage consumers.
Every bureau would have their own unique way of determining the score, but the core data more or less would be the same or similar in nature. And that's why the score might differ from one bureau to the next. But in principle, it's recording, or it's a recording or a summary of all the information about the consumer from a credit perspective. But obviously, every bureau would operate differently, build out their own scoring model, etc. But the principles are the same. The higher the score, it means you are of lower risk and a better type of consumer because you're managing and handling your credit accounts better. The lower the score, it means also you've got some adverse information. So as an example, you've stopped paying, you've missed payments, it could have gone into default, etc.
If you haven't paid your accounts in the last 2 months and they list a notification against your name saying, listen, 30 days in arrears, that's not classified as an adverse listing. That's classified as factual information. It starts to become adverse once the customer is in default for more than 3 months and I say importantly, and the credit provider has taken steps to list an adverse listing. I know it can sound confusing, but if anybody's confused, or anybody needs further sort of explanation, they're free to call us, the Credit Ombudsman, or any other regulator in the industry so that we can explain this to them.
You need to contact your credit providers after settling your debt to update and remove any adverse or default listing. You could end up with a low credit score if you fail to do this, and this could also affect your ability to secure credit. Naledi Matlapeng, SABC News, Johannesburg.